Hi friends, Joe Edelman here again with another special edition gear review video. A little while back, the folks at Donner reached out to me to provide me with this electric guitar to demo. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. They also invited me to review an additional product of theirs, and so I selected the Island Delay Looper effects pedal. You can find this pedal currently retailing for $64.99 at the Amazon link shown in the description. The reason I chose this pedal is because I receive a lot of questions about a good delay pedal to use for playing Radiohead songs. While I do own two Radiohead-approved heavy hitters in the Deluxe Memory Man and the Space Echo, and they both sound incredible, they're not cheap. Furthermore, they do fairly specific things very well, and so they may not fit all styles or songs. Which is why I often recommend that folks looking to get into these types of delay first try out some form of multi-style digital delay for the versatility. So I was curious to try out Donner's entry into this niche, as it fits this bill nicely, and it's similar in features to other more expensive multi-delay offerings from companies like Electro Harmonix and TC Electronic. As with my review of the Donner electric guitar, I'll give sound examples and a detailed breakdown of my biggest likes and dislikes about the pedal. But my overall impression is that while not perfect, this is a solid multi-delay pedal with some interesting and unique modes for a very enticing price. To demonstrate this pedal, I'm obviously going to use some Radiohead songs, including some from my Johnny Greenwood Delay Pedal Tricks video. A link to that video is also in the description. Plus some other impromptu riffs to cover a wide, if not full, gamut of the modes and features that this pedal has to offer. As an additional note, I'll be using Donner's DST-102T electric standard guitar, which I did make a couple modifications to since that last video, since I really enjoyed playing it and I'm strongly considering bringing it along to a gig whenever gigs happen again. I swapped the pickups out for some extras that I had lying around from Mexican Fenders of past that I had upgraded. This includes two Tex-Mex single coils from my Jimmy Vaughn Stratocaster and one Enforcer bridge humbucker originally from my classic player HH Jaguar. I wired these in with an HSS Strat wiring kit from Tone Shaper that I got on Amazon. Shout out to Tone Shaper, who did not endorse this video, but their kit is cheap and easy to use if you're interested in modding and know a bit of soldering. I had also restrung the guitar with Ernie Ball 10s and I tuned it down to E flat, but I'll sneak the fretting around in the playing examples wherever applicable to compensate. Here are my favorite things that I found while trying this pedal. What I'd call the meat and potatoes modes, digital and analog, for example, sounded very good. Digital was your normal flat EQ profile where the repeats sound very much like the dry signal. Analog had that appropriate high-end roll-off and nice fat sound that layered well with my playing. But what surprised me the most while playing around were the unconventional delay choices. For example, the Lofi, Deluxe, Shimmer, and Tremolo modes. The Lo-Fi mode is really cool. It's basically a bit crusher or decimator style effect, and if you crank the feedback and shorten the delay time, you get this metallic reverb type effect. The Deluxe mode keeps rising in fifths. It's hard to keep that squarely in key with a chord progression because of the fractal nature of it, but it's a useful sound effect you can compose around. It reminds me of a computer plugin by Soundtoys that I love called the Crystallizer Delay, which gives really cool otherworldly vibes to instruments. The Shimmer mode shifts the repeats up a constant octave. You could tweak it to be a very rudimentary whammy-style octave harmony or organ-type sound with a short enough delay and low feedback. Tremolo delay is another one that I don't see that often, but to me it actually solves one of the main drawbacks of tremolo, which is that volume drop and the loss of your transient pick attack. You can sort of get this blended vibe where it just adds that swampy ambience to the sound, but it allows you better note control. The bonus tap tempo mode is always a helpful addition, and it's relatively easy to use, similar to how Boss does it, just with a long press on the foot switch. However, I sometimes got tripped up on the 1.5 second timeout where it switches back to the normal functionality. The ability to switch the pedal between tails and no tails mode is also a nice touch. What this means is that you can have the delay continue after you switch off the pedal, or stop abruptly, which allows for different types of song transitions. It's always great to have a looper on board. Again, it's a very basic looper, but it's helpful for making little sketches, practicing parts, or laying down some ambience. Here are some of the things that I disliked about the pedal. Adjusting the delay time while the effect is active doesn't give that same smooth transition or repitching of the delay that some other digital and most analog delays have. Instead, there's sort of a scratchy sounding burp, as what I assume is the digital buffer of the pedal gets reshaped or overwritten with the new information. Similarly, there isn't any self-oscillation to the pedal, which means on other delays when you crank the feedback, the delay never fully takes over and keeps repeating on its own. When this happens, you can usually adjust the rate to effectively play that feedback note, and this feature has some iconic uses like the end of Interpol's Untitled or Radiohead's Karma Police. I would have also maybe liked to see a wet-dry or mix control instead of just the delay volume control. Cranking a wet-dry mix can help better get you some of those ambient pad sounds that Ed O'Brien is known to make. The retro mode switch was a nice idea for something like tape mode, but it's a little too predictably distorted and it kind of overshadows the sound. Further to that end, the tape mode is cool, and I was most excited to try the tape mode because I do love tape delays. But I think that the vibrato that they added to the repeats is a little too regular, so that it sounds more like a chorused or modulated delay than a tape, especially when your repeats start layering with your playing. What they were trying to get was that speed drift thing that a real tape machine does, but they must have used a basic triangle style LFO on the pitch, whereas the real thing is much more random and subtle. The RE20 obviously does this very well. In conclusion, I would recommend this pedal to anyone on a budget looking for a wide variety of conventional and unconventional delay types. The jack-of-all-trades philosophy definitely still applies, and I wouldn't say that this does a better tape delay than a Space Echo, for example, but it's still very usable and musical in a full band context. But all of the basic controls and additional quality of life features like the tap tempo mean that you can still accomplish many, if not all, of the best delay pedal tricks, like those that I've highlighted from Johnny Greenwood's playing. That's it for now, gang. I hope you found this video helpful. Stay tuned for more content from this channel, including instructional videos, covers, and original songs. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys again soon.